Hello guys, my name is the Polish Gamer and welcome to yet another album review. This time we are reviewing Nickelback's 5th studio album, All the Right Reasons. Released in 2005, this is Nickelback's most successful release and it's also their first with drummer Daniel Adair. One of the biggest reasons why this album was so successful is because of how many singles there are on it. I mean honestly, almost every single track on this thing got radio play. Despite all of its success, this album got absolutely torn apart by the critics, getting terrible reviews, reasons being it having terrible lyrical content, being overproduced and just being super generic. But what do I think? Well, watch this review to find out. Let's get started. The first thing you hear on this album is a great drum solo at the start of the opening track, Follow You Home, which, despite some questionable lyrics, is a kick-ass song. It's not really one that I would come back to often, it's pretty generic, but it's still a very good rock track, definitely one of the heavier on this record. We followed it up with Fight for All the Wrong Reasons, which once again has some pretty questionable lyrics. I mean, it includes the line, "We were good in bed." Yeah, as you can see, Chad Kroeger really is a lyrical genius, but what can you expect? This is truly when Nickelback started becoming the band that they are known as today. But I still think it's a good song. Again, it's one of the harder, heavier songs, but still, it's really not anything special. Just like Follow You Home, not something I would really come back to, just generic, kind of filler. After that, we have everyone's favorite Nickelback song, Look at This Photograph! Photograph was one of the most successful songs off of this record, getting tons of radio play on both rock and pop stations. And well, I personally really like this song, but this song gets absolutely hated by basically everyone who does not like Nickelback. When somebody asks like, man, why do you hate Nickelback? They point towards this song, Photograph. And I personally enjoy it, but I do definitely see why they hate it. The lyrics are kind of cringy if you think about it. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. What the hell is on Joey's head? It's not really anything genius. It's not gonna win any awards, I get that, but it's just a nice cheerful song about reminiscing about the past, and everything like that. It comes from the heart, Chad and everything they wrote it about, like their hometown, Hannah, Alberta. They actually filmed it in their hometown, and they just talk about things they used to do, and it's a very personal song, so some people can connect to it in a way. But yeah, Photograph, really famous Nickelback song. Let's move on. After that, we got a song, Animals, which is very Nickelback-like. The track is about a guy picking up his girlfriend from her parents' house and then them having sex in their car and getting caught by the girl's dad. Yep. That really is what the song is about. No, I'm not joking. Despite its laughable lyrical content, it's a pretty decent song. It's got a nice catchy riff. And, it's not really meant to be taken seriously, that's the point. It is supposed to be a funny song and stuff like that. It's kind of like sometimes you might listen to it and just kind of cringe. Some of the things that are said in this are absolutely terrible. Like, honestly, just look up the lyrics to this. You'll be shocked by some of the things in this. Honestly. I got both hands on the wheels while you got both hands on my gears. Moving on from that, we actually move on to one of the more lighter songs on the album, Saving Me, which is actually also one of my favorites on this record. It's a difficult song to explain. It's kind of similar to Someday, which immediately makes it kind of similar to How You Remind Me, at least in its song structure, but it's very good. I really enjoy the lyrics on it. It's kind of difficult to really know what it's about, but for me, it's always kind of been about contemplating suicide and being depressed and stuff, something like that, and you having one person, and you want them, they're the only one that you really count on in life, and you want them to help you out, save you, at least that's, you want them to save you from the depression, from from the suicide, you're having suicidal thoughts, stuff like that. At least that's what the song always been for me. It's about, is it really worth saving me, stuff like that. It's a really deep song actually, and I'm a big fan of it. We didn't have one of Nickelback's, of course, cliche romantic love songs, Far Away, but despite that, it being very generic, it's definitely a very good song. You can feel it comes from the heart with some very genuine lyrics. And yeah, again, it was also one of the most popular songs off of this record. After those two heartfelt songs, though, we coming immediately into next contestant, which is a nice rocking tune about a guy who gets pissed off when guys start flirting with his girlfriend. That's all the song is about. It's like, here comes the next contestant. Is that your hand on my girlfriend? So again, the lyrics are nothing too special, but I do like the rhythm of the song. I do like the guitar work and stuff like that. I mean, the vocals are nothing special. Actually, the vocals on this album are really generic. I mean, it's a big step down from The Long Road, which in my opinion was some of Chad's best vocals like ever. And this is kind of just really like he didn't put in, like, it was just, I mean, it's nothing bad, but it's just, you know, it's not like he really went overboard with anything. He just kind of, you know, he just sings and stuff like that, you know. After that, though, we have what possibly is my favorite song on the record, Side of a Bullet. It's a song dedicated to the death of Dimebag Darrell, rest in peace. And it actually uses one of his guitar solos, you know, near the end of the track, and it really is a heavy song. This is definitely one of the best highlights off of this album. It really is. It's a great song, and it's just, you know, this is like, in the last track I mentioned how this was how Chad wasn't really doing his best with his vocals on this. This is definitely one of the songs where it all changes, though. I mean, I really do like his vocals on that one, though. I really do. And the guitar solo on the end is also awesome, even though, of course, it really isn't made by Nickelback themselves, but it by Dimebag Darrell, though. It is a good twist. It is a good touch. We then have another single, If Everyone Cared, which is a nice song, you know, about helping the world, making everything better, you know, if everyone cared, if everyone tried, if nobody lied, if nobody died, all that stuff, you know. But the lyrics are nothing really that deep. Like I said, what I said right there was basically 90% of the lyrics. It doesn't really go far beyond just saying, oh, if nobody died, if everyone cared, if nobody lied, the world would be much better, you know. It's nothing too deep, but I mean, it's just there. But again, nothing special, and I personally don't really see how this song got that big. But it's a nice track, I guess. We then have a nice energetic song, Someone That You're With, which, even though it has some creepy lyrics, you know, it kind of makes you think, I think Chad might be a little bit of a stalker here, but it is actually one of my favorite tracks on this record. It's one that when I normally listen to this, it's one of the tracks that I tend to come back to. Like I said, it has a nice rhythm, really like the guitars, even though it's nothing really special. It's kind of generic, but I like it, and even though the lyrics are a little creepy, it's definitely one of the highlights of this album. We then finish it up by another lovely Nickelback song, which is loved by absolutely everyone, Rockstar. Now, this is a song, again, lyrics are kind of cheap, they are very cheesy. It's just, but it's one of those songs which is really not meant to be taken all that seriously. It's just Chad saying everything about the generic rock star lifestyle, everything, stuff like that. You know, like, oh, being like Elvis, having your own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. What else can I name off the top of my head? Living in a big house that's gonna appear on MTV Cribs. Having your own tour bus, guitars, all that stuff, you know. But it names all the generic stuff, partying with the movie stars, going to the Playboy Mansion, basically everything. But it is a nice, happy song, a good way to end the album. It's kind of similar in that way to the final track of the last record, which was, of course, See You at the Show, although that was a much better song than Rockstar, but kind of in its style. It has this country vibe to it, you know, and, well, it's an okay song, I guess, but nothing that special, really. And that was All the Right Reasons. Now, looking back, I really don't see how this was Nickelback's most popular album. It just probably had to do with how much radio play it got. I mean, it really is not Nickelback's best work, is it? I mean, The Long Road is a miles better album than this one. It really is. But despite all of this, I mean, it is a very generic album. The lyrics are, on some songs, laughably bad, but I have this feeling like it's not all meant to really be taken all that seriously. But, you know, it's, like I said, it is a step down from their previous work, but it's still not all that bad. It's still a decent album. Although I think that I'll rather listen to some of Nickelback's other work. So yeah, most successful album, definitely not my favorite though. All the right reasons, it's gonna get a 7.5 out of 10 from me. Which is actually lower than I planned to give it. I actually planned to give it about an 8, but now that I think about it, 7.5 is what this deserves. Maybe even lower, and I'm only giving it that just because, you know, this is an album that I used to listen to quite a lot back in the day, but it just hasn't aged too well on me, I guess. But it's still a decent rock album, you know, so there's nothing wrong with that. But let's just say it's not one of Nickelback's best works. But that's it for this video. Next time we'll be continuing with the Nickelback discography. But for now, my name is the Polish Gamer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye!